was William Afton, or Springtrap, in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, and here he is in Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator. The difference in his appearance is uncanny. It seems like he's been through years of rotting and decomposing. Yet, in the lore, FNAF 3 took place only months before Pizzeria Simulator. How did Springtrap change so much in appearance in such little time? It's a question that many theorists in the FNAF community have had for a while. Yet, even Scott Cawthon himself said that this change had an important lore implication for William Afton. So, in order to uncover the lore behind Springtrap's transformation, let's go over everything we know so that we can piece together the full story. For starters, the actual appearance in his body seems very obvious. His left arm is completely missing, his head seems much more inflated than before, and now he has toes, as to prior having only the endoskeleton's feet. Not only that, but unlike before, we can now see parts of his actual skull peeking out from the torn mask. But if you're really confused on what's going on with this in the first place, let me just explain. Before this new version of Springtrap, in FNAF 3, we end the game by burning down the Fazbear Frights building while William Afton is inside of it. And the next time we see Springtrap / William Afton is in Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator with a completely new appearance.
You may not recognize me at first, but I assure you, it's still me.
Along with 3 other animatronics who also have their appearance completely changed. But the only difference between Springtrap and the rest of these new designs is that every other new design has a reason to have changed, and overall makes logical sense. Like Lefty, who technically is a completely new exoskeleton, but is simply built to trap the puppet inside of its animatronic, or Circus Baby, who now appears much more scrapped together and broken from the sister location appearance of her. But this is explained through the fact that before Pizzeria Simulator, Baby became a part of Ennard, an amalgamation of many different animatronics. But Ennard eventually spit her back out, now completely jumbled and trashed, as she pieces herself back together with pieces from other animatronics. And then Ennard himself is pretty self-explanatory. As it's no longer fully together, it's going to have had changed its look. But for these characters, their shape, features, and main character design stay consistent with logical explanations for their changed appearance. Unlike Springtrap, who doesn't have any logical explanation for this sudden change in looks. We know he just escaped a fire not too long ago, yet nowhere on his body can we find any burns. Not only that, but his skeleton is nowhere to be found in FNAF 3. Unlike now, where we can clearly see it as a part of his design, even though it's literally impossible for him to have just regenerated his skull. On top of this, the suit of the animatronic has some features that don't make any sense. His front mouth looks like the same type of nozzle that we can see on Freddy Fazbear, and his bottom jaw is very clearly not the same one we find in Springtrap's suit in FNAF 3. What makes this even more confusing is that it's very clearly not just that Scott Cawthon wanted to change the design of Springtrap, as this design was used across multiple games, not just FNAF 3. There's a detail in Sister Location that marks the first sight that we ever see of Springtrap's design. Sister Location's part in this is essential. You see, Sister Location was the first of the FNAF games to be considerably different from the rest. Rather than being a traditional monitor and security camera simulator, this game was a story, with different challenges like the Biddy Babs and chase sequences like Ballora. But where Springtrap's participation comes in is with the release of Sister Location's Custom Night. This was a security camera monitor simulator, just like all of the past Five Nights at Freddy's games, in which every character from the initial story game has their own challenge and difficulty that you have to overcome until 6 AM. But by beating the hardest mode of this game, also known as Golden Freddy's 1020, you get access to an exclusive cutscene.
Father, it's me, Michael. I found it. It was right where you said it would be. They were all there. They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you. And I found her. I put her back together, just like you asked me to. She's free now. But something is wrong with me. I should be dead. but I'm not. I've been living in shadows. There is only one thing left for me to do now. I'm going to come find you. I'm going to come find you.
This cutscene takes place before the events of FNAF 3, as Michael Afton, William Afton's son, is looking for his father to burn down the place where he hides, which is exactly what he does to both Fazbear Frights in FNAF 3 and the Pizzeria Simulator location in FNAF 6. But more importantly, this shows that Scott Cawthon wanted to emphasize that this is what Springtrap looked like before the fire. Not only that, but in Ultimate Custom Night, we see two different versions of Springtrap available to add to the Purgatory. It's very clear that this wasn't just a redesign, but instead something intentional that happened to William Afton in the lore. So what's the answer? Why does he look so different now? And what exactly happened? The first theory is that Remnant, the same substance used to possess the animatronics, was able to regenerate parts of William Afton, like his skull. But Remnant has never been shown to be able to regenerate parts of your body. It's only ever been shown to heal people like it did so with Michael Afton. It's never been seen as a use to regenerate parts of your body, so it wouldn't make sense for Springtrap to have regenerated like this. There's only one theory that fits the context of this new appearance. This is not the same suit that we see in FNAF 3. In fact, it's completely different. Many people theorize that this is actually a different Golden Bonnie suit, and not the same one we see Afton in FNAF 3. We actually see evidence of Afton having a different Bonnie suit in the FNAF 4 minigame. In this one scene where Afton is helping an employee into the suit, as well as this scene in which we find that that same employee is now dead, stuffed inside the suit. Considering that this very well could be an old version of the Bonnie suit, it makes complete sense to connect the dots by saying that while it is Afton's soul in this new suit, the body inside is not his. And this voice line we get from Afton practically confirms it.
You may not recognize me at first, but I assure you, it's still me.
You may not recognize me at first, but it's still me. Or in other words, this suit and body is different, but it's still him. It's still William Afton. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to subscribe. This is the first video on this channel, so it would really help a lot.